Way number 12, the importance of teaching Torah, the importance of being a teacher. Now, obviously, that's a no-brainer because I'm a teacher. But I hope today to share with you a few points that each and every one of you, no matter what role you play in this world, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you're a businessman, or whatever it is, you have a company on the internet, how we can all relate to being a teacher. So just a year ago, it's shocking how what I'm about to tell you just happened a year ago. Trump was asking for $8.6 billion for a wall. And I don't know about you, but when I heard those numbers, they were just like, whoa, I couldn't wrap my head around it. They were willing to give him 3 or 4, but he needed 8. And $1 billion just seemed like so much money. But if you're following the news, because of the coronavirus, Congress has passed a bill for $2 trillion, and they're about to pass a bill for more. What changed? Because when we're dealing with life and death, that's something that we value. When we're dealing with a disease that we don't know the cure to it, and we know that it's killing people and that people are starving because of it, all of a sudden we're willing to spend millions and trillions of dollars. Rightfully so. Rav Noach says something which is something to ponder. And he says as follows, he says the most destructive and painful disease is ignorance. How much do we realize the impact of ignorance, how much it plays in the world? Ignorance wreaks havoc and causes untold suffering. Ignorance causes suicide. Because of ignorance, people say stupid things and they create marital strife. Because of ignorance, there's domestic abuse. Because of ignorance, dads don't know how to speak to their children. They don't know how to connect with their daughters. There's a lack of unity. Because of ignorance, so many people walk around on this earth with a lack of a relationship with God. And it's a disease that needs one thing, which is education, and specifically Torah education. So where do we come into that? Each and every one of us, at the end of the day, we are a teacher. You know, we say in the Shema every single day, V'shinantam levanecha. We have an obligation to teach our children. The Shema, when it talks about teaching your children, is not referring to a teacher. It's referring to every dad and mom who walks on this earth has to realize that in essence we're a teacher. You know, one of the commentaries explains, if you look at the whole story of Genesis, you won't see that there are many conversations between father and son, between Abraham and Yitzchak, Jacob and the 12 tribes and all of his children. The most conversations actually happen at the end of Jacob's death, right before he dies, at the end of his life, where he calls on his children to tell them the different blessings, which inside of those blessings are really lessons for life. One of the commentaries explains that while Jacob was alive, it wasn't necessary to have all these long, drawn-out conversations with his children, because the way that he educated his children was the way that he acted, through his behavior, through his relationship with Hashem. At the end of the day, that is how we all learn. We are all role models. And especially right now, it's such an important thing, says Rav Noach, for each and every one of us to make an inventory of pieces of wisdom that we have gained in our life. We all have an inventory. And we can sit there and say to ourselves, there might be, he says, come up with 5 things that you have learned. Maybe you're someone that has learned the secret to happiness or learned ways of being a happier person in times of stress. What a crucial piece of information to share with another person nowadays. And it doesn't mean that you have to have a whole class or a Zoom class. It could be that you pick up the phone and you share it with a friend, or you share it with a relative who's interested in hearing it. Or it could be that you write it in a letter. It could be you write an email. But that's an example. Figure out what kind of wisdom that you have and seek out ways to be able to share it. And also, another thing is, don't make the mistake of thinking that you have to become the biggest expert in the area in order to share it. That is, if you're going to wait till you know everything in that particular arena, that day will never come. If you have tips to help someone with budgeting that you know that you've learned how to cut different costs, share that piece of information. If you're a business owner and you figured out some details right now with the coronavirus of how to be able to get some extra funds or to be able to make ends meet, pick up a phone, share that with someone else. Look at the areas in your life that you have mastered and figure out ways to share it, because we were put on this earth to share, and that is one of the greatest ways to grow. So, in a nutshell, one of the greatest ways of acquiring Torah is to be someone who is constantly teaching. First of all, you're going to grow, and every single person is a teacher. So identify a few ways that you have in your life that you have mastered and share that with others. Have a great day.